I get bored easily and often, and I've always loved toys. So, the thing that gets me through my day is this here fidget spinner. It has three weighted lobes that rotate around a central ball bearing when spun. It's made out of plastic and it operates on the mechanical principle of angular momentum. I got that from Wikipedia. But to understand why this fidget spinner helps me get through my day, I'll talk about the history of how I got it and how it relates to my recent ADHD diagnosis. So, as many people may remember, these were very popular in 2017. It was very, very trendy. And at the time, I was 10 years old and in elementary school. It seemed like everyone on the playground had one of these, if not two or three. And I was jealous. But it was a good time. It was 2017. It was also a different era of the internet. These things were worldwide popular, and there was no TikTok or Instagram Reels to entertain yourself with. There were YouTube videos like these where people would do trick shots with them or make them out of mercury so they would melt in your hand. And this wasn't just an American thing either. People from all around the world could appreciate the simplicity of this little thing, the sensation of it spinning around in your hand. So for me, it brings back childhood memories. It makes me feel like I got the toy that I always wanted as a kid. And it also reminds me of my professionalism. 8 years after 2017, last year, I went to a job fair and Paris law firm was giving these out at their booth. This fidget spinner reminds me that I buttoned up my shirt. I went to the job fair. I talked to people with confidence and I shook their hands. It reminds me of my talents, of how I can meet and communicate with people. Next, I'll talk about how it relates to my recent ADHD diagnosis. So, like I said, I get bored a lot. Always felt like I have to move, either getting up and use the bathroom or just stretching my legs. But that's not easy to manage when I do a lot of my school and my work online. If it's not online, then it's sitting at a desk in a similar environment where I'll have to be sitting still. Those definitely do not help. Recently, I found that I have ADHD, and that hurt, but it explained a lot as well. I'd always felt this sort of stigma towards neurodivergence, as many people I'm sure do. And even in elementary school, these had gotten so popular that teachers would not let you have them at your desk unless you had an ADHD or an anxiety diagnosis or something of that sort. I'd always been jealous. I thought, why do I have to sit here, try to focus with all my internal thoughts, while these other people get to keep a toy at their desk? And all I have are these pencils and my pens to play with. Well, ADHD, I found out I have ADHD. That wasn't easy, but it explained a lot, like I said. ADHD symptoms show up in things like being bored by repetitive tasks, struggling with time, and not being very organized. My desk is a mess right now. Luckily, you can't see that. It can also impact executive functioning. And if you're not familiar with that term, it basically means making good long-term decisions. What that means is people with ADHD, we have trouble staying focused or maintaining our efforts and avoiding impulsive thoughts or actions. So, this little toy right here, it keeps my attention during these boring tasks. The little sensation in my hand, it reminds me that things will end, that the more that I work on this thing in front of me, the sooner it'll end. So, to summarize, my fidget spinner brings back great childhood memories. It's that toy that I always wanted as a kid that I just got. It reminds me of my professionalism and my skill with communicating based on how I got it. Thanks, Paris Law Firm. And it also helps me deal with ADHD. It reminds me that even though I have this disability, I'm still a person. And when I have trouble focusing on something and it feels like I'll be sitting at this desk forever, each day is only 24 hours. And I only have so much time to take advantage of that.